Hello, everyone, and welcome to Medford Happenings, a show for and about the city of Medford, and I am John Petrella. And the purpose of this program is to give Medford citizens facts and information to help you make informed choices and to discover city services or businesses you may not have been aware of. We got a wonderful guest today, Christine Barber, candidate for 2nd Middlesex District State Senator. Christine, it's our pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here.
Thank you. We know you have a busy schedule, so as usual, we're just going to get right into this, Christine, okay? First question, tell us about yourself. Who is Christine Barber?
Uh-huh. I am the daughter of a public school teacher. My dad worked in a manufacturing plant. I have been a community organizer, a legislative staffer, a healthcare advocate, and for the last 11 years, I have been a state representative. So I'm right now the state rep for South Medford, Hillside, parts of Somerville, Winter Hill, and Teal Square, the Tufts area. And really, I started out as I worked in the State House. I worked on Massachusetts healthcare reform over 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I saw how the system worked and how it didn't work and who wasn't in the room. And that's what my career has been about, is making sure people who are usually left out are part of the decision, and that I've been able to get money for projects in the community that really matter to people in Medford and people in Somerville and the entire community.
Okay, very nice. So you have a lot of experience. I mean, you've done a lot of things, which gives you the experience for this next position that you're going for.
Yeah, I've had a lot of different roles, and but as state rep, really been able to be out in the community, and that's what I love doing. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, with housing and the cost of living, it's continuing to price working families out of Massachusetts. Are there any specific state level policies that you will champion, to help lower costs? I mean, is there something in particular you think you can do or get done?
Yeah, I mean, affordability, it's not just one issue, right? It's housing. I am a renter. I'm very aware of how expensive it is here in our communities, how expensive it's gotten. So housing is one, but then also wages. People's wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, inflation, and how expensive everything is. I constantly hear from people struggling with groceries, um, people who need help getting food. So it isn't just one thing. It is energy costs, food costs, housing costs, all of it. So there's not just one answer. Um, Housing, I think, really is the main one, since that's where the bulk of people's um, money ends up going, to
Right.
housing. So I look at renters, making sure that they're not getting displaced. I have created a foreclosure pilot program to make sure that homeowners, when they're facing foreclosure, can work with the program before the banks take their houses. And then at the State House, I passed a law to create accessory dwelling units, which are like granny flats or mother-in-law apartments that people can build in their yards. So something that they could create for maybe parents or kids who can't afford other places. Um, and then I do a lot of work on healthcare costs. I think healthcare might be the number two affordability issue that people talk about. I've spent my career as a healthcare advocate getting people access to healthcare. And then at the state level, I have been able to pass a bill to get rid of copays on insulin, inhalers, and heart disease medication, because those are some of the chronic illnesses that people can't afford the prescriptions for and then end up in the hospital or very sick. And there's a lot more to do, but really focused on looking at what the issues are and then getting laws passed and doing things at the state level that can start to address some of the affordability issues.
Yeah, and like you said, there is quite a few. I mean, there's so much to work on. So, Good answer, Christine. Thank you. So, let's get into what is your position, on top of the legislation that's, I guess it's been passed or it's in the bill. You would
Yeah.
know more about it, so.
Yeah, so this is something that I worked on in housing, or I am working on in housing, and I want to keep working on in the Senate.
Yeah,
It's TOPA, or Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act,
okay, thank you.
TOPA. And this is something that would keep people in existing housing. So one of the problems, we talk about housing. One of the things we need to do is keep the housing that we have, and not make sure people aren't pushed out of housing that exists in the community. So what we see happen a lot is a building will go up for sale, a big corporation will buy it, they'll kick everyone out, they'll usually refurbish it into $1 million condos, and that you've lost this usually affordable or more affordable building that people have been living in. So TOPA would, when a building goes up for sale, it would give the tenants an opportunity to band together and buy it. So they'd
Okay,
usually work with like a nonprofit, sometimes the city, but often a nonprofit, to buy it, sort of like a co-op, but it's a way to do affordable home ownership and buy their apartment in the building and then not get kicked out. And so it's a way to keep people in existing housing, not build new housing to do it. It's a lot more affordable, and it's
right,
people in their housing.
yeah,
So this is something that I've been working on, and I passed it as an amendment in the House. So it passed in the House, and then Senator Jalen actually passed it in the Senate. So
okay.
right now it's in negotiations between the House and Senate. We're trying to get it passed into law right now.
And, I just want, so it is basically, it's like is the right of first refusal, is that
Yeah.
part of it? That's part of
Yeah,
it.
it's basically right of first refusal. And if they don't, then obviously it gets sold. Like it's only for a
Right,
period of
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And it is, at market rate. So it's not like they're
okay,
gonna not get funding the
right,
whole.
yeah, yeah.
But it's allowing them to band together for the mortgage to do
Right.
that. So yes, it's a right of first refusal that would just give people an opportunity to stay in the home and also keep the housing that we have, which, is a challenge, right? You see
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of the housing in Medford. I've been here all my life, and even with the houses, I see houses that get bought and, a week later they're gone and it's luxury, whatever you want to call them, mini mansions. Seems like a lot of that goes on too now. And
Yeah,
that's
and
what makes
sometimes
it difficult.
absolutely we're losing what was more affordable housing for
Right,
family, more family housing that was there, that we end up losing that
yeah,
rather than, building more housing that people
right.
could. So this
Keep
is a
it,
way of keeping that housing and preserving it and
right,
people an option that they could stay.
keep it affordable. Uh, Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people get all confused about it. So thank
There's a
you.
lot of there are so many things we need to do for housing, and it's yes, there's a lot there. So that's something that I'm really
Right.
pushing. It's a good option.
And there's no one answer, but
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, no one answer. Okay, so your specific background, how will it enable you? I
Mhm.
mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of communities in the district. I mean, how do you connect with? I mean, that's got to be difficult.
Yeah.
Connecting with everybody. I know
I
you're out there. I see you campaigning. I know people tell me you knocking on doors,
yeah.
but it's got to be a difficult thing, right?
Yeah, I do love going door to door. I've knocked a lot of doors in the last 8 months, all over the district. And it's actually my favorite part of campaigning, thankfully, because you have a one-on-one conversation with the voter.
Nice.
You get to see the entire district by walking around. So there's a lot of hills in North Medford, especially. But I've got it's a good exercise for me too. No, but in as state representative, because I represent Somerville, parts of Somerville and Medford
Right.
already, what I do as state rep is try to get out into the community as much as I can, not just at, everyone goes to the events or the festivals or whatever,
Yes.
but going to senior housing, going to some of the youth events that they're having, and trying to meet people in their neighborhood where they are, uh, the senior center, going to lunch there, things like that. Like just going to where people are, different groups of people are, and just getting to know them in different
Yep.
ways. Because Medford and Somerville so it's Medford, Somerville, Cambridge, and Winchester. They're all really diverse, and
Right.
people aren't just in one place. People are doing, people are interested in all sorts of things. So yes, I have been the way I work is trying to get out into the community and go to as many things as I can because yeah, people's experiences are very different than mine and I want to get to know them, go to different cultural events, hear what is happening in their lives and what's working and not working. And the only way I know that is by getting out and
By
talking to
getting out. That's a great answer. Thank you. Um, many Massachusetts communities, more so now than ever, I believe, need to increase their revenue. Um, you know, what state programs will you or can you initiate or support, I guess, would be the question that generates business development and increases commercial revenue streams. And I'm not speaking about one area, but like Medford right now, we do need some business development and commercial revenue streams. I know it's a difficult question, but
Yeah, but it is a good one because of course people know the commercial development, one, it makes the city enjoyable to live in, especially if
right,
restaurants and arts and things that Medford does have, but there could always be more connections. And but also it really helps the tax base, right? Because right now property taxes
well,
are in Medford, like in Somerville, are mostly residential
yes,
and
yeah,
not commercial, and it does make it really hard to finance the many needs that we have. Compared to Cambridge, which is part of the Senate district and has a very different commercial base, of course, with Kendall Square, and so they have a very different tax structure. Um,
absolutely.
so there's a couple things. I would say one, the talking to business leaders is always good. So, people in the meeting with the Chamber of Commerce and hearing about um, all sorts of businesses that we already have, and then what they need and where there could be state programs to help support, where they're at already. And so keeping the businesses that are already in Medford that want to be in Medford. I've heard that some going door to door, people want to open a business in Medford,
Yes,
but for how, or there's red tape, or it's complicated. And so they're saying, well, maybe I go to another community because it's easier. And that's not what we want. We want to make sure they're opening their businesses in
right,
Medford, especially if they
yeah,
live here. So there's a couple there are state programs. One bill that I have worked on is one that would tax online realtors sorry, yeah, retailers, not online retailers to support
retailers,
local
okay,
businesses. So it would create sort of a fund for like a downtown fund. So you could put more money into, a Main Streets or a chamber program that was really trying to support
yes,
businesses. We haven't passed that yet, but I think that that kind of program that would tax, online retailers, which we know are taking so much of the business and really drive it back into downtowns. Um,
that's
Another one is grants. Like I do a lot of work on I'm the chair of the environment committee, so we have like the clean energy center. There are some businesses, especially on Mystic Ave, that work in clean energy that are
right,
starting to take off because they're close to the universities and to
right,
researchers, and we can get state funds to get them to the next step and make sure that they can thrive and can actually um, grow in Medford. I think it's a place that a lot of people, a lot of the workers live in Medford and the surrounding area, so keeping them there is really
right,
huge. And then the other one, I mean, the other two are like are transportation, right? So you have to be able to get here. transit. I worked on the Green Line extension, making sure we have buses that we've been fighting to keep a bunch of the bus routes, and then the roads, and making sure the roads are there. There
Yeah,
is some parking. There are ways for people to get around. Um, and making sure people can actually get to these businesses to if they're retail to get foot traffic, especially in Medford Square and parts of or in West
yes,
Medford need a
yeah,
lot of foot traffic, really driving people there.
yeah,
um, and then the last one and the big one is, of course, education. So I've done a lot to support just public education. We need a workforce who is ready to work, and we want to keep them here in the community.
yes.
So I got funding for some of the vocational education or career technical education at Medford High School. They have amazing programs there, and really supporting the schools so we have the workforce to build businesses here in Medford.
We did a show on the vocational school.
It's
And I
so
was
amazing.
like, I go back to when I went to school, the folk, woodworking, this, that, but the robotics, it's incredible what they have.
It's
And it's
amazing.
incredible how talented these kids are coming out of there, the knowledge, and it really is electrical, robotics, even in the food industry. It's just amazing. I've been up there and it's incredible.
It's amazing. So one, I actually was just talking to the Somerville Robotics Club. So it's similar. They have the robotics at high school, and the students were trying to explain their project to me, and they're a lot smarter than I am.
Yes,
It was great. It was great. It was really great to see. And so many more students are taking some vocational classes,
right, yeah,
because they're integrated at the high school, which is great. And it's just an amazing resource.
yeah.
So making sure we're
No, it
supporting.
really is. I mean, like I said, I can't, it's amazing how far they come. Certification, licensing, everything they do up there. It really is incredible. And
And
I
the
know
cafe,
that,
yeah, the
go ahead.
cafe. Yep. We haven't been to the cafe. The bistro up there is so
Right,
good.
the
Yeah.
bistro, that's another thing, yeah. It's really good too. I've been there a few times. It's like,
It's really good. It's like one of the best restaurants in town. Yeah,
yeah,
everyone check it out.
I mean, you think about it, it's like, who would have ever thought, but they got incredible programs, they really do, so, and I tell you, you want to come to Medford, have breakfast, they really do, they got a phenomenal breakfast up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do. They have a
they
great.
do. Um, okay, so great answers. That was a good discussion. Um, here's another one for you now. The Massachusetts legislature often, they sort of operate behind closed doors, I guess. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. How do you push for more transparency, Christine? How do you get them, I mean, recorded votes on Beacon Hill? I mean, to me, this is like, I mean, it's kind of important. I think people get more involved if they really know what's going on.
Absolutely. It's really important, and I have
Yeah,
pushed for it. And I'll talk about a little bit of where we've come from. So, uh, after pushing for a bunch of years, now committee votes, all the votes that we take in committee and then on the floor are public. So you can go on and you can search by committee and see how people are voting on different bills. So that for I think it was last year for the first time we put that into law, that those will be public. And I think the work I would like to do is make it clearer and easier to find them, but they are on the website. And as I chair the environment committee, so as in one of my roles in that committee is making sure every time we took a vote on a bill, that I was really clear that all those votes were going to be public. I actually took it further than we needed to under the rule of law, which didn't make all of my committee members happy, but it was
I'm
really
sure
important.
it didn't.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
important to me that those votes and all the information was really clear and out there. So I've done that, and I know, how to that the implementation of it is important. And for me, it is really important people elect us, they want to know what we're doing. They want to see the work. They want to know, of course, how you're voting. They don't want that done in the dark, and that's really important. And then the other side of it is I think transparency is important, but it's also delivering and saying like, we want to see what you're doing, but it's also, we want government. I think it comes from people feeling like government isn't responding to them. We want our schools to be great. We want the roads to be fixed. We want to get healthcare that's not bankrupting us. And so
Right.
make sure, yes, we're being transparent, but the goal is really to deliver,
Right, right.
deliver and to be there for people.
Yeah, yep. I think, like I said, and that was a great answer. I think that's very important. I think a lot of people feel that way about it. So, another thing is, we often hear a representative telling us, oh, they got grants, and they do, and they bring money into the cities. That a lot of them do tremendous work. I know you have done some work like that. But how do you follow up? How do you track how the money is actually spent? I mean, I'm not criticizing here, but it just seems like sometimes, money will come to a city supposed to go somewhere, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't all get there or whatever. Is it difficult to track it once? I know you work hard to get the grants.
Yep.
After you get the grants, what's the process?
Yeah, so it does depend, but it's true. It's a good question. So if it's a smaller grant, like I got grant funding for the Mystic Community Market, which is the food bank in
Yes,
South Medford on Mystic Ave.
Mystic
Uh,
Ave, yeah.
on Mystic Ave. They do amazing work. They opened right after, right around COVID, and
Yep,
really, really a lifeline. So I got the money for a new refrigeration system, and that was pretty clear where I got a grant, and then we just followed up until they got it, and they go through the paperwork of obviously spending it appropriately on what the grant was for.
right,
That's a small grant, and that's where we track it and we work with the state and then whoever gets it to make sure they get it and they're using it appropriately. Part of the challenge here is that some projects take a long time, so you have to track them over a long time. So one example, which may or may not be popular to bring up, but in working with Rep Donato, we got money, we got $1 million to fix the Main Street and South Street intersection. So by the police station, everyone knows it. It's a really unsafe intersection where
yes,
South and Main come together. And there's been sort of a half fix there for years now, right?
yes,
So
correct,
we
yeah,
got money for the project, and then it goes to MassDOT, the state, who is designing the project. And they've done a bunch of community meetings, they have designed it, and it takes a long time to design, and then they have to bid the construction firm. So it can be frustrating because I think many of us are saying, let's just fix that intersection. It's unsafe. Everyone's tired of it.
yes,
We get the money. And so projects like that do take time because you want to get them right and you want to design them well and you hope that then it's fixed and lasts 50 years. And so with that project, I have been following up with MassDOT, advocating to them, and I know that they're starting the process to get the construction bid going so it can get in the ground, but it'll be
yeah,
extra.
because that is,
That's the thing I know is frustrating. And it's frustrating to me too, because it's like
yeah,
you get the money, you start working on it, you announce it to people, and it does take time.
yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what happened with that. Now, I gotta go back and, you called the one on Mystic Ave, well, that was a small grant, but I'm gonna tell you, to me, that was one of the most important grants because they really needed it. Small, big, I don't know, but it was very important that they got that, and they do great things, so, I mean, that was a huge grant as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, and those are the kinds of things like the Mystic Community Market does amazing work. They are a
Yes,
lifeline to the community. I hear that when I'm door knocking, and groceries are only more expensive. So a lot of people use it. And so
yes,
anything I can do to support their work and work together with them, that is working with them, they tell me what they need, and then it's my job to figure out how can we
right,
that out.
yeah.
Help them.
I mean, that was pretty awesome. And, the other part of this too, um, you talked about Main Street, Medford, the police station area. And I mean, they started it and then it felt like, well, it stopped and it was kind of like crazy for a while. It's still a little bit. So, I mean, how do people follow what's going on? Like, I know a lot of people get frustrated with that. So is there a way, here we go again with the way my mind works. I think it would solve so many problems if people knew what, okay, well, we had a delay with this or that, or so.
Yep. Yeah, there isn't a great for that project. If you go on, so that project's complicated because it's the city, it's MassDOT, and there's a little bit of DCR, the
Right.
marks there
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
It's complicated, but you can go on MassDOT's website and they do have updates about the project. But there isn't a dashboard of every project, right? And so it is also on us to get that information out and to work with the local leaders to get that information
yeah,
out. Because I get frustrated too. I'm thinking, we got this, we're working on it, people are excited, and where is it? Why is it taking
right.
so long? I definitely get that. And so it's my job to also advocate for it and keep pushing to move it
Yeah,
forward.
because everyone wants it. I mean, it's a great thing. And then I think people get like a little frustrated only because of the length of time, like what happened, that's all. So,
I agree. And it's also going to the state, to be implemented. And so we
and
get the money in the legislature and then the state has to implement it, the Healy administration now. And so it's out of our hands. And so then I'm really
yes,
advocating for it and making sure it hits the city and the
uh,
city gets what
uh,
it needs.
too many hands, too many
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
too
But
many.
then sometimes it works, with like the library, we got a lot of
Yes,
state for that. And it turns out, it's
another great
beautiful, right?
example.
It's
Yeah,
amazing. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. No, absolutely. All right, so this is, we can go on for a long time here, and I appreciate you giving us this much time. So, the last question, um, and this is to me another one of those tough questions, and I mean, people are frustrated, they have no idea what's going on, but how do you feel about Beacon Hill's response? The people to the audit, the people of Massachusetts, I mean, they voted for it and, pretty overwhelmingly, so to speak. What happened? I mean, is there
Yeah.
anything we can do or,
So I support the audit.
I know that, yeah,
And I have been frustrated too. So House and Senate leadership have not put forth the information that was requested by so many voters in the state.
right,
Um, where we are now is a few weeks ago, we did vote in the House. So I took a vote to put in state law for the first time that the legislature can be audited for the things that the auditor asked for when she went to court. So the financial records, a bunch of the records that she's asked for.
right,
So we voted to put that in law at every year so that those will be out there. You could see the financial records, you could open up the books every year and make sure you could see it. And it's really important to me. I also support public records
yeah,
being open. Again, going back to transparency, so people can see what we're doing, see the work, see the finances, and have more faith in the work we're doing. And so we can move the work forward because there is so much to do right now. There's so much to do on affordability for everyone.
right.
Like I just I want to move it forward and move on with the audit so we can do the work.
I love that answer, and I thank you for that answer too. It's good to hear. And unfortunately, it's that time again. I want to thank you, Christine, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And there is one other question I have for you, and it's pretty important, I think. If someone wants to contact you, they want to see what you're all about, they want to, I don't know, give you a call, go on your website. Can you give us, your website, your phone number, or anything you have, so they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Anyone can contact me pretty easily. So my So again, I'm running for state senate for Somerville, Medford, Cambridge, and Winchester. And it's christinebarber.org is my website. I will give you my number, which is 617-410-6025. You can contact me. And, I really have been about trying to deliver results for Medford and for Somerville for the last 11 years. And really, I'm asking for your support. I'm ready on day one to do that in the Senate. So asking for your vote. September 1 is the election. Early voting is happening now at City Hall, or you can go on election day, which is September 1.
Right, and we really do need people to get out and vote. And I'm gonna ask you one more time, just do me a favor, repeat the website and your phone number one more time, just so people
Sure.
get it.
So my number is 617-410-6025. And the website is www.christinebarber.org. And it's CHRISTINEBARBER.org.
Thank you so much. Really, it's been a pleasure. Great job, Christine. Thank you for joining us on the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you we know you got a busy schedule. Thanks for taking time out.
Thanks so much, John. It was really great to talk to you. So thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, I also want to take a minute to thank everyone who has been watching the show, and we want to thank you for all your feedback. If you would like to appear on the show, you can contact us at methodhappenings02155@gmail.com. And we appreciate a lot of people have been contacting us. This is the reason you're seeing a lot more activity from our show. We have a lot of guests, and we have a lot more coming on soon, and we're getting the shows out as fast as possible. So thank you for that. You will be able to watch replays of this program on Medford Community Media Access Channel. And please check out our website, methodhappenings.com. You can now either view or listen to the podcast of this program from methodhappenings.com. You can find all of our shows on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, search for Method Happenings. Please like and subscribe to our channel and videos. You can also find us on Facebook at Method Happenings. And last but not least, we also have our own subreddit, which you can find at reddit.com/r/method happenings. Once again, that's reddit.com/r/method happenings. Thank you all for watching the show. We appreciate it. For the Method Happenings team, Paul, Marco, Bruce, James, Joe, thank you all. I'm John Petrella, and remember, Method, stay informed and get out and vote. Your vote matters. Thank you.